at what point did you start getting more help, like hiring more people to do different
So,
things?
like in India, I started. If I had I worked out of my home kitchen from 2009 to 2013, actually, for 4 years, till I actually then set aside the money to set up a commercial kitchen and hire staff and all of that. And so it used to make me feel really good to call up my staff and say, okay, I need 600 cupcakes today, because I was
Wow.
baking all those
Yeah,
cupcakes myself earlier.
yeah.
So in Hong Kong, I have a very flexible format where I work out of a co-shared kitchen space, which is a great,
Yeah, just nearby to us.
Actually, it's great advice for anybody who's looking to start a food business, because, as you know, real estate in Hong Kong is really expensive. So the the rent can take up a huge chunk of your costs, which you can actually bring down by opting for a co-shared kitchen space. So the one I work out of is called Bite Unite. It's in Wan Chai. So that saves me a lot of very high fixed costs for a product which is, is not a very expensive product. So it's a volume game at the end of the day. So I try to save on costs over there, and then we take freelance staff to bake our products, and we keep that flexible depending on how the month or the week is looking. So there's a lot of playing around, stuff around that, and the F&B business can be very challenging.
Right.
So I think it's very important to keep the costs pretty low.
I have realized that as well, because in Hong Kong, otherwise, there's no end to the cost. Then how much do you sell?
Absolutely.
So that's a very important point that you brought out right now.
So,
I think,
So my focus is really on the costs, and I try to keep that really low as I can, and I try to balance that, of course, with the demands and the orders that are there. And then we are also present on platforms like Kita and Food Panda. So then the menu for that is planned a little differently, where we keep the best-selling products ready and, to go, because the rider literally comes in 5-10 minutes.
Right. And does that work for you?
Yes, very much. And it gives you great visibility, because it's a platform where a lot of people are getting familiar with your brand. And given that I am present in Wan Chai, which is a very central part of Hong Kong, it's got to a point where a lot of people know about our brand because we are present on these platforms. And of course, we don't do custom orders and all on those platforms, but nevertheless, it's helpful. So coming back to that, of course, I've digressed a little bit. So the first thing is, I'm hands-on with my craft. And I think the second thing is that for custom orders, I'm very clear that I want to have a conversation with the client myself. That's a part of the business that I find very hard to delegate to someone else, because I think it's very important to get the brief right, to create that right product and create that moment of joy when your client is actually cutting that cake. Because if I get that brief wrong, then I'm not going to deliver the right outcome, which could be a disaster. So that's the part of my business I've not handed over to anyone. So of course, if you want something from our regular menu, you can go to a Kita or a Food Panda or go onto our website, and you don't need to interact with me. But if it's a custom product, I make sure that I talk to the customer myself, so I know exactly what's in his or her mind.
I understand exactly what you mean, because in that aspect, it's very similar to what I'm doing as well.
Yes.
So we have our collections. You can go on the website and buy. You can come here and pick out any of our jewelry and take it home with you, which are all absolutely beautiful pieces with a lot of meaning to them. But we also have these services, which is bespoke, right? And that part is something that for picking up something from the website or from here, I guess you could even talk to one of my lovely salespeople, like my staff. We have very beautiful, lovely people around. And but for a bespoke order, again, that requires full attention, full my expertise, my passion, my everything. So that's when, which is non-negotiable, is that I have to be there, and I have to go through the brief, go through everything, make sure the customer likes. You create something that they like, and it's a back and forth process, right?
Yes,
so it's that.
And actually, that part works very well for me. So coming back to your point on ignoring the mundane stuff and keeping it still interesting, is the fact that I talk to different people every day, and I love people. I'm a people's person, so it's great energy, and it's great. So that also keeps the business exciting when you deal with all your
so that basically
means,
for our viewers out there from this conversation, is that you should know how to delegate. Keep the things that interest you to yourself. Keep the things that can be done by, maybe you can have, it is important to have some kind of support around you, your company, if you're starting out, but at the same time, even as you grow, I think never letting go of what actually got you started in the first place.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. I
That's
think
really great.
what's close to your heart, you hold close to your heart,
Yeah.
because otherwise the essence is lost. Okay, now you've been in business here, Kajal, for 8 years now, which is a great milestone. It's a long time to run a successful business.